Today, we are in Caerphilly.
With some very noisy birds.
Yes folks, it's not our first visit to Caerphilly. We've seen the castle on a couple of occasions in other videos. And we've even done the Snoopy trail here. And if you missed that, it's a video worth watching. But today we're going to take you around the town. We're going to show you some other areas that you may not have seen. Tell you about some of the interesting people that came from this part of the world. And if you're very good, we'll take you in the castle.
Caerphilly has so many interesting things to see, including that gorgeous castle, but the trip isn't free. You have to pay with either one like or one subscribe. Face please.
Of course, there's nothing in Caerphilly quite as old as the castle. But the building behind me, or at least the original part of this building, certainly comes close. Because the castle was built around 1270, so that's the 13th century. The original building here, the original courthouse that stood on this spot, built around 1316. And actually it has a well outside at the front, which is identical almost to the well in the castle because it predates the building itself. The castle over there, it is not only the biggest castle in Wales, but there's only one castle in England bigger, and that's Windsor Castle. But there were problems afoot. The Earl had died in battle. The year was around 1316. And not only was there bad feeling here because the king appointed an administrator in charge of the Earl's lands while they were being shared out among his sisters, but also that administrator's behaviour was not the only problem. He was nasty to the local Welsh population, but there was also a world crisis. Because a volcano had erupted over in New Zealand, which brought such a harsh winter, and the cloud of ash created what was known as the year with no summer. So throughout Europe and here in Wales, people were hungry. The hunger, combined with the oppression of the administrator, meant here for the people of Glamorgan, revolution was on its way. Llywelyn Bren led that revolt. It was January 1316, and they attacked at the south and went for the courts. It was a major revolution. It went on for 3 months before it was suppressed. And following that, this courthouse, the original single-story building that stood here, was built in order to carry out the duties of administering justice. When this first became a public house, there was a lady, a farmer, who was making cheese in part of the pub that she used to sell to the locals and to the tourists. Of course, Caerphilly cheese is quite well famed, and it is said, according to the legend, that it was created for the miners because its crumbly white texture made it easy to hold in the hand, and the salty curds replenished the men when they had been working hard in the heat of the mines.
Dim Pescotta, no fishing. Okay, we'll just look at the birds. Oh, I bet they've got very cold feet. I'm glad I'm not a bird in February. Somebody wants to say hello. There's a goose right in the distance. That goose doesn't look very happy. Do you think it'd be safe to go closer? What do you know about geese? Am I taking my life in my hands following these geese?
I know they use them as guard dogs.
Yes.
Outside distilleries in Scotland.
I hope they don't try biting me.
Don't go too close, dear. I'm going this way.
Okay. Right, we leave you to it. You carry on arguing amongst yourselves. Hello, do you want to be on YouTube? What's your name? Cynthia. Hello, Cynthia. Yes, that is your best size. You look gorgeous. Look at those wonderfully orange webbed feet. Very impressive. Oh well, bye then. Cynthia's had enough.
As well as the famous castle, there are famous people that have come from Caerphilly. One of those, the name we know well, is Malcolm Uphill. The reason Caroline and I know his name so well is because they named the local Wetherspoons restaurant after the man. His achievements were in the area of sport and specifically in the area of motorcycle racing. But I suppose one of the most famous sons of Caerphilly, born here in 1921, was Mr. Tommy Cooper. Who had famous lines like "Jessica," always wore a fez on his head, and became well known for perfecting the art of doing magic tricks very badly. He was an accomplished magician. He was also a great comedian. But when he decided to put his comedy together with his bad magic, it was magic. Sadly, in 1984, he tragically died of a heart attack whilst on stage performing. But today in the town, we have a statue that was erected to him. The money was raised by the society that supported the work of Tommy Cooper and all that he meant. And the work of the organisation has continued because they have continued to fundraise, but now they purchase defibrillators which they put around in public places in order to save lives of others who may have a heart attack at a sudden moment when no one expects it, just as the great Tommy Cooper did. Today, as we stand here outside the community hall, it is so different to how it would have been a century ago. On this spot, a thriving Methodist chapel with hundreds come in every Sunday to worship. And around us, where we have the new library and the car park and shops, right under the shadow of the castle, would have been a market where they traded the animals. A bustling, lively place. It's still full of life today, but very different to years ago, that's for sure. Now, while we make our way around the castle to the main entrance, where we are going to join Cadw and get our free entry, having paid our £83 something for our membership. But not just free entry here, but that's going to open the doors to castles all over Wales for us to show you the insides of. So we're going around there now. As we go, why not pop over to the kitchen and have a look at a little bit of cooking and a bit of taste testing. Welcome to our kitchen. Here we are at the kitchen here at Let's Go HQ, and I'm doing the cooking.
Oh dear.
Caroline's behind the camera looking concerned, but this is a dish I've tried before, but with a twist.
Ooh.
Ooh, yes, because I've got a few cookbooks and this is one of them, which was a gift. And a wonderful gift it was too. And here is what we're going for today.
Stuffed baked potatoes.
Yes, not a fancy title, but I'll give this a title all of its own because I'm going to add a twist to the title. Stuffed baked potatoes. It does say what it is. But for me, they use blue cheese. Now, some people love it, some people don't. My brother loved it. He believed if you had to open the fridge door in order to smell the cheese, it wasn't strong enough yet. Well, that's not me. I'm more the cheddar sort of chap. And today we're going to use ingredients that I picked up in Caerphilly. So I popped along to the store. There in Caerphilly and picked up leeks, potatoes, obviously, if we're going to do a jacket potato, and Caerphilly cheese. And I've got all of those here. And in addition to those three simple ingredients that I picked up there in the store in Caerphilly, all we have to add is black pepper, sea salt, and some white wine. And that is not from Caerphilly. It's German white wine, but it's very nice and I'm sure it's going to add a lovely flavour to this dish. Now, according to the recipe, hour and a half for large potatoes in an oven.
Hour and a half. You can explain that in English.
Hour and a half. That's 1.5 hours.
That's better. Hour and a half.
Yes, all right. But two things. One, conserving time. Two, conserving energy. Then 15 minutes in the 900 watt microwave is a far better way, I feel, to do the initial cook. And then when we bake them off, they'll go in the halogen and that will do the job of giving them that crispiness. So I'm going to pop the potatoes in the microwave and then get chopping. Because I've got to chop these leeks, I've got to break up the cheese, and obviously then fill the potatoes. Just adding the butter to a tablespoon of olive oil. It's 15 grams of butter as per the instructions. As soon as that's melted down, we'll add the leeks. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. 100 mils of white wine now to be added to the leeks. And we just have to reduce this now by half. Just let it bubble away until we've got just half the liquid left, and then we're going to put it down to simmer and let the leeks soften. Okay, we've got our 3 potatoes that are nice and soft now because they've been cooking in the microwave. And one additional little ingredient is some large chopped walnuts, not too finely chopped because it gives it a bit of texture and flavour. Just a matter of taking the knife and then cutting each potato in half. Here we go, that's that one done. That up. Now, all we're going to do is remove the potato from the jacket. We don't want it to be a mashed potato, we just want it chunky to go with the chunky cheese, with the chunky nuts, and of course the lovely soft leeks. So we're going to mix that all up in a bowl. Then we return it back into the jackets, pop it in the allergen, and bake it all off. This smells absolutely gorgeous.
I'm hungry already.
As I mix it, just very careful not to mash up the potatoes, just to keep everything chunky. That's the texture we're going for here. As we build our, I'm going to call it Philly spuds. I've heard of Philly steak. Well, this is a Philly spud, but it's from Caerphilly. There we go. Whoa, look at that. And we just load this into those and then pop it in the oven. So there you have it. What I am going to christen a Philly spud as opposed to a Philly steak. So there we go. A jacket potato, or a loaded jacket potato as some people call them, using the ingredients bought there in Caerphilly, and in particular the Caerphilly cheese. All that's left now is for me to have a little taste.
Let's have a little look first.
Or you think I'm going to mess it up with my big fork?
Yes.
You want to show off your nice plate.
Go on then, what do you think?
Let's give it a go. Ooh. Mmm. Mmm.
Could you stop and tell us what you think?
That is very, very tasty.
Oh, good.
And so simple to make. Hope you give it a try. And don't forget, I've made a Philly spud because we were at Caerphilly, but you can use your local cheese or a cheese you particularly like. Well, that's it. Cooking done, taste test done. It's time now to get back over there and show you inside the castle.
Here we go, we're going through the big doors where the portcullis is. Can you see the portcullis up there? That's a wooden one now. I don't know if it was wood originally. There used to be metal. Then again, it's a listed building, so they have to restore it to the way it used to be. So chances are it was a wooden one. Not much good if somebody set fire to it. Then we got our big doors, which they've left open for us. Look at that. Can you imagine how long it took to put all those nails in? It was probably great fun though. So here we are. This is where you get to find out how to join Cadu.
So basically we give you some paperwork here. It is just a form, not much to it. Make me look beautiful.
Oh yes, no problem. Which is your best side? Very nice.
Which kind of membership would you like? So we've got joint adults, would that be here?
Yes,
would that be?
join please.
No problem. It's all relatively straightforward. It's just putting it through on the till as the right category. And the total is going to come to £83.10, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
No problem.
And I noticed you don't have a name badge on, so what's your name in case people are wondering? Who is this new YouTube star?
Oh gosh, no. My name's Tom. Thank
Tom.
you. Yeah.
Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Well, there's a famous Tom that follows us. Tom Burley, the mudlarker from Yorkshire.
Oh, I'm from Yorkshire.
Oh, wow, look
One
at
of
this.
our favourite places to go outside of Wales. We're up there all the time.
That's great. I'm going to have to ask you what your channel is, honestly. Because I don't want to miss out.
But we are Let's Go with the Johnsons.
Let's go with the Johnsons.
Yes, that's right.
check it
Philip
out.
Johnson and Caroline Johnson.
Makes perfect sense.
Sweet sound of money vanishing.
Far too quick nowadays.
It used to be the chink of coins, now it's beep and bang goes your 80 quid.
Exactly. But for that, 10% off in the gift shop, 20% off during Christmas, and entrance to all of Cadw's sites, plus half off in your first year to all English heritage sites and Scottish heritage sites.
Brilliant.
And Manx ones too. So you're now members of Cadw. You get 10% off in the gift shop, access to all of Wales's history. Happy YouTubing.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Thank you, just
Thank you,
Thank you.
A Yorkshireman in Caerphilly. They get everywhere.
Ooh, look at all these goodies. Here we got some traditional Welsh love spoons. All these symbols mean something. But some of these, you could actually use these on your Christmas tree, couldn't you, if you wanted to? You got some cards, some candles, oh, some sheep. You've got to have sheep. I wonder if they were modelled on Doris. May have been. Doris is a very famous YouTube sheep. She follows us wherever we go and tries to get on camera. Terribly vain. We've got some Welsh books. And we got, oh, look at this. Aha! It's a foam sword. Oh, wooden swords. Cutlasses. Foam cutlasses, I hasten to add. Bow and arrow. Ooh, some medieval fighting thingies. Battle weapons, whatever you want to call them. Colouring things. Lots of little gifts you can take home for your family. Oh, we've got some knights and some shiny TY babies. Oh, Caerphilly Castle coin maker. You put your coin in, it presses a lovely shape of Caerphilly Castle on it. And it's out of order. Oh, we'll do that another time. Ooh, chocolate and sweets. Some clothing. And now, it's time to go and see the star of the show. The castle. Well, what a lovely man in the visitor centre. He's a student studying law, so if you need a lawyer in the future, check out Tom.
And I've got to say,
Go on then. Oh,
Perhaps
you can't
it's a-
say it there, you're too black with that
perhaps
sun.
it's a bit of a generalisation, but in our experience, all the Toms from Yorkshire are very nice people.
They are very nice people.
Especially Mr. Burley.
Right, let's go in. Oh, look at this, it is so exciting. Up we go.
Of course, what you can see from here quite well, but possibly not with the sun behind it, is the Leaning Tower.
Well, I can see the tower, yeah. It's a bit bright, but you can see it.
Because that tower leans far further than the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Does it now?
It does. It actually
Wow.
leans at 10 degrees, which is a lot. It shouldn't be standing. And there's a statue that was put in place in recent times, created by a Welsh sculptor. And it's a statue of one of the Marquises of Boots, who owned this at one time, and he's holding the tower up, and hopefully we'll get a shot of that later.
We better hurry up in case he gets tired. Look at the curves on those walls. It's amazing, isn't it? All those years ago, they could build things so well-rounded. The very deep windows again. You can hear there's a little bit of a description of the area going on over there. You can press a button and it talks to you.
It's telling the story of dragons and maidens.
Ooh.
This castle is famous for so many reasons. One of the big ones is it was famous when it was built. From the very beginning, when the young Earl, because he was only 18 when he got these lands and inherited from his father, When he built this, there was nothing like it in this part of the world, and it set an example and became one of the most powerful defence systems in Europe. It's built on a system now known as the concentric castles, which basically means, and I've stopped here to show you, a castle within a castle, because there is the entrance we came through. There is the outer wall. Beyond that, there's a moat. Then there's another moat. And here, there's another wall of a second castle. And behind Caroline is the keep. And beyond that is the inner castle. This was built not just for show. This was to emphasize to the Welsh lords and the princes of Wales, we are here, we are in power, and we are staying.
Right, so let's go inside the keep. This castle reminds me a little bit of a Russian doll. You know, the ones with the doll inside a doll inside a doll? Oh, the bells. One, 2, 3. It's 3 o'clock. Oh, wow! Look at that! There's some sleeping dragons. Some of the youngsters are up and playing. And the big, grumpy looking one at the back is fast asleep.
Here we are, and there is the sculpture of the 4th Marquis of Bute. Fortunately for us in Wales, the Marquis of Bute had a thing about castles and went about doing a lot of work restoring them. Cardiff, Castle Coch, and here at Caerphilly. The 3rd Marquis, he's the one who bought it in the late 18th century, and then the 4th Marquis continued the work, and they have now given him pride of place, stood holding the Leaning Tower. I've got to be honest, although I know it's been like this for hundreds of years, it is a little bit nerve-wracking standing here talking under the shadow of a tower that feels like it shouldn't be leaning that far. So I think it's time we left the Marquis to do his job. He can hold the tower up, and I'm going to get out the way.
Hello, Mr. Marquis of Bute. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Are your arms aching? Yes, I thought they might be. Do you get cold in the winter? Yes, I thought you might do. Are you beginning to wish you'd never bought Caerphilly Castle? Yes, I thought you might be. If I stand next to the bottom of the tower and look up, you can see it starting to lean and starting to lean, and if I look up the top, I'm actually stood underneath the top edge of the tower. It's over my head. Oh, that's a little bit worrying. Really doesn't look very safe, does it? You can see one of the windows here, and it's, well, not in a very good way. All those stones, I don't know if they were put there or whether they've fallen down. But it doesn't look very safe to me. Look at that. An amazing sight though. Well worth coming to see. Look at this crack. Ooh. That just looks so unsafe, doesn't it? I'm not going up there. Look
It shows it's not the whole tower is leaning, look,
No,
it
it's
is
just
snapped
a bit.
in half. It's whole at the top, or at least 3/4. This gap shows how far it's gone from there to there.
Yeah,
It's travelled a couple of feet.
it has. We'll stand there so we can get an idea of perspective.
How can I get to stand here?
Because I'm not. Right, in we go. This is the East Gatehouse. There's the sign. Let's have a look. Oh, look. We're nearly at the centre now, but I'm not going to go to the centre. I'm going to keep you all waiting because I found a door. And you know what happens when we find a door? We have to go in. Let's have a look what's in here. Ooh, I can't read what that is, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. They look like cannonballs. Wow. They're quite big. I always imagined them being about this size, but they're not. If you can see, if I put my hand there, no, the perspective still isn't very good. They're about, a foot wide. Pretty impressive. That's a lovely screen, isn't it? With the doors in. I don't know if that's a lock. Should we try? Oh, you can't go in. Let's try this one. Nope, can't go in that one either. There's a little hole here and it says no entry. But we can't go up as far as the barrier. So let's go up as far as the barrier and look up. Ooh, look at that. Looks like it goes up a long way. There's an arched window. Right, this is a very big step. So, be careful everyone. We're up. And up 2 little steps. And see if we can see anything. Can see inside the castle.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. And we're in. Oh, look at this. Oh, there's some building work going on there. I wonder what they're doing. That's the only thing with an old building like this. There's always so much work to keep it looking its best. Oh no, this is very grand. Look at those windows. That looks like a church.
That is the Grand Hall.
The Grand Hall. I've heard about this Grand Hall.
It is, not only is this one of the biggest castles that was seen in Europe at the time and the second biggest in England and Wales, but this was a formidable hall. It's 75 feet long, it's 36 feet wide, it's 34 feet tall, and can you imagine tables end to end with knights and barons and lords gathered together in order to celebrate. And they felt safe to do so, even though they were surrounded by the rebel Welsh. They had no fears because there was gate after gate, wall after wall, moat after moat. They had their defences that gave them that sense that they could have a social life second to none.
Right, let's see what this is like. It's a very nice arch up there, isn't it? It's not your usual curved one, but the walls are not looking very well at that bit. All the outside seems to have come off. We'll assume it's safe though, so in we go. And this says Neuadd Fawr, Great Hall. Ooh. Wow, look at this. Can you imagine if you were all dressed in your finery and this was all set up for a banquet?
I can imagine it. I can, walking into here, not looking just down, but just looking up.
Yeah, look at that ceiling. And there's a minstrel's gallery up there. That's quite a large one too. You could get a whole orchestra in there. Well, maybe not a whole massive modern day orchestra, but a fair few people with instruments.
That would have been a sight when that fire was lit.
Wow, look at the size of it. That's got to be, about 10 foot wide, that fireplace at least.
They had to warm a big room.
That's clever. All done with lights. Ooh. Look at these clothes. That looks like a woven wool. It's a tunic over a top, and let's have a look what the sleeves are like. No buttons or elastic on that. There's a split shirt for comfort. They're very nice.
Metal.
It's a cape. Oh, look at that. You can put your hands through there. Lovely. Looks very warm, very cosy.
Tempted, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we got the lining in green again. Interesting colours, which was all down to the restrictions of the dyes that were available of the time. Look at that window. It's enormous. Even with that big fireplace, I think it would be very difficult to get this place warm in the winter. A decorative stone all around here. It looks like giant screws, like as if it's screwed on with posi drive screwdrivers. It's not. It's carved stones. Then we got another window, exactly the same. Pretty impressive. I wonder how long it would take one man to carve all those bits and pieces. All this grandeur. Oh, imagine if you were the king or one of the Welsh princes sitting here. Let's sit down and see what it's like. Why not? Oh yes, this will be the perfect spot. You can see the fireplace, you can see the Minstrel's Gallery, you can see one of the Johnsons. What a wonderful view. Oh, there's a lot of noise coming from that fireplace. Alright, we've gone out of the Great Hall and there's an arrow sending us this way. So we are well behaved. We'll go this way and see where we come out. Ooh, look at this. It's massive. And there are some steps there going nowhere. I'm sure they went somewhere at some point, but they're not now. And they don't look particularly safe, so we're not going to climb up those. We'll wander along. What's through here? We have to have a look. It's the law. Oh, look at that fireplace. Let's go have a look at that. I love a big fireplace. I don't have one. It makes me sad. I'd like a big huge fireplace, and all winter I'd have logs burning away. But I don't. I have radiators. Not quite as glamorous. Let's have a look up. Can we see any light at the top of that chimney? I can see up quite a way, but no light. It must go round a corner. And over here, we've got a little door that goes back out to the room we just came from. And there is the door back into the Great Hall. Ooh, I found some steps. It's dark. Don't know how much you can see on the camera. Where are we going? I have no idea. I think we're going up the tower. Getting higher and higher. It's getting lighter. Oh, look in here. These are nice. The wife. The king. The lover. Ooh. The villain. Dun, dun, dun. Right then, up we go. We have to have a look at the steps. And let's see what's out of the window. Oh, you can see the moat. And the shops. Let's have a look outside this window. Oh, I can see more water. Oh, look at that. The sunny day really helps, but the dirty windows don't. And the final window in this room. Very noisy walking on this wooden floor. And there you can see more of the castle. There are the stairs we just came up. We've come out of that room now and there are more stairs to discover.
Ooh.
Phil's looking a bit nervous.
Tunnel. Indoors, I don't mind indoors.
Well, we can't go up there because they've fenced it off. You can't see anything, it's so dark in here. I'm still here though. Don't get scared. Right. Through we go. It's like a bridge over the top of the courtyard below. What can you see out there?
There,
the courthouse.
That's the courthouse. Obviously all that glass on the back is very 20th century, but you can see the lower part, which was the single-story building, and the roof that's on there, that was put on about 500 years ago.
Look at the ceiling. Oh, I feel very grand here. Imagine what it must be like to own your own castle. I'd love to own a castle. Another window. Let's have a look out of this window. Oh, there's the tower. You can see down. There's not much to see up, but there's a big fireplace. And we're nearly at the end of this tunnel. So let's go see if there's anything to see down here. I would imagine there is. They wouldn't bring you along a tunnel for nothing. Well, that's just a guess. Do not use this door, it is alarmed. Okay. Nearly at the other end, there's a non-window. Somebody's blocked that up. And we got another window. It's pretty much the same view. And then we're out. Ah, there is the Leaning Tower. So we're on the other side of it now and 2/3 of the way up. Oh, it is in a bad way, isn't it? You can see the fireplace. You can see the interior walls. You can see some windows, but I think that is beyond repair.
I love the fact there's an acro prop there that looks like it's been there a while to stop this bit falling backwards. Meanwhile, that is leaning at over 10 degrees and there's nothing to hold it up except for the statue of the Marquis of Bute.
Amazing.
This is an incredible castle. I don't know if the video is going to capture just the enormity of it and the sense of grandeur that is still here even after it's been in such a state of disrepair for so long. When it was built, it was an awesome sight, but it wasn't a place that didn't see its troubles. Within the first 50 or so years, this was attacked 3 times. In fact, the first attack took place before it was finished building, and it's been under siege. But really, it was neglect and just the sense of decay that brought it down in the 1500s. Got to the point where a lot of the stonework just disappeared. There's more than one manor house in this area that was built by the landed gentry as they gathered the stones from the castle. But as you've seen as we've come around, the work is underway now. The work that was begun by the Marquis of Bute, both the 3rd and the 4th, the work that was continued then afterwards primarily by Cadw and the Welsh people. And that's what we are witnessing. But it's not the sieges of this place that has gone into legend. It's a love story, because the Earl chose a wife from France, Princess Alice. And she came to these parts, but when she arrived as his wife, she fell in love with a Welsh prince. Not a good idea. Certainly not the thing she would have wanted her husband to know, but he did. He had her sent straight back to France. And the Welsh prince, he ended up being hung at the command of the Earl. But the Earl didn't rest there. He was so angry with what had been done, he sent one of his men to take the message to Princess Alice in France and tell her that her lover was dead. And the legend says that as she heard those words, she dropped dead with a broken heart. And now it is said that she walks through these walls at night, along the passageways, dressed all in green, and her robe represents the envy of her husband. A legend that has lived so powerfully in these parts. We have a public house called the Green Lady, and the Green Lady has gone down as part of the great myth of Caerphilly Castle.
Got another door to go in. Right, I hope we don't see the Green Lady wandering around. I think we'll be okay. Ooh, look at this. This is lovely. Oh, I'm going up. I've seen an arrow saying go up. Let's go up and see what we can see. Ah, it's a bit lighter here. The last steps really weren't light. They were very creepy. These are fine. Ah, we apologise for any inconvenience, but the roof to the gatehouse is closed due to conservation work. Oh, we'll forgive them that. We need to keep this castle in as good a condition as possible, but look at that under the stairs. You can see all the formation of the steps. The central column that they all hang on. Right, in we go. Oh yes, this would make a perfect living room. I can see myself quite happy here. We've got the little nooks and crannies. Oh, I could set up a desk here in one of these little nooks. I could do my art and stare out of the window at the gorgeous scenery, which is difficult to see because it's a bit wet, that window, and a bit bright. Come on then, let's go have a look. Little wipe. Look at that. Very inspiring. And then as the night starts to draw in, it gets a bit cold, I come over to the fireplace, cush up in my big warm fluffy blanket, light the fire, and watch the logs roaring away. Let's have a look up this chimney. I do like looking up chimneys. Aha! If I turn this up, you can see the top of the chimney. This is a huge fireplace. You could live in this fireplace. Plenty big enough. We've got a tapestry, which I would imagine is a reproduction because you wouldn't get those beautiful deep colours all these years later. Very nice. Well, it's a lovely colours, but I think the storyline's a little bit suspect, so we'll move along. Ooh, we can go down these stairs. I wonder where this is going to take us. Let's go have a look. Hold tight, everyone. If you've got your high heels on, I would really recommend you take them off and walk down barefooted. And we've got another room. All these rooms are huge, and they all look the same. I can imagine if I lived here, I'd get lost. I'd phone up Phil and say, I'm trying to come to say hello, but I don't know where I am. Ooh! They're raising the portcullis. Wow! Well, somebody's just arrived. Must have visitors. Ooh! Down he goes. Oops, the portcullis is raising again. We must be very popular with all our visitors. Right, I think that's where we came from. So we need to go back. Oh, look at the pigeons. Oh, I wonder who lives in here. Hello, can we come in? Ooh. Oh, it's Manky. Hello, Manky Panda. Can we come in? Does anybody need to spend a penny? Anybody with their legs crossed? I think you'll be fine now. Let's pop in here.
The privy.
There you got your privy.
Tea bath.
So what I'll do now, I'll leave you in peace. We'll pop out here, close the door behind us, and you join us when you're finished. Oh, we're outdoors again. That looks like graves, doesn't it? I don't think it is. And there is the centre where we bought our pass. You get your tickets. You can walk along. Oh, this is a lovely, I know it's a modern looking bridge, not very pretty, but what a wonderful view. And those houses there. Can you imagine waking up every morning, opening your curtains, and there is the castle. You'd wake up to that. I bet they are very popular. Ffynnon. Well.
Ooh, treasure.
I wonder if there's a dragon in there keeping an eye on it. Possibly.
I don't know, but it's amazing to think that people were drawing water from this well some 800 years ago.
Yeah.
Here and over at the courthouse, the two wells serving people 800 years ago. And here we are today, stood here, able to enjoy all of this. And it has been enjoyable. Hope you've enjoyed it. This isn't just an ancient place that is part of our history. It's become the modern setting for things such as movies and the series Merlin and Doctor Who. The TARDIS has been up on the walls here. We saw it, didn't we, dear?
We did.
But now our trip is over, and we are hoping that we've been able to convey to you a little of the atmosphere and the majesty of this incredible building, which is right in the middle of our local major town. This is where we shop, is all around here, and we are so blessed and we're so grateful of the chance to share it with you all. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget, give us a thumbs up.
Doing, doing, doing.
And if you know anyone else who would like to come on a trip with us and see the wonderful sites that we visit, then share the link with them and let them know that the Johnsons are here. But of course, till the next time that you're on a trip with the Johnsons, don't forget, have fun. Bye.
Bye.